Welcome back, Saxon Charter chums. I'm back in Crudwell in Wiltshire, and there's much more to say about this area. We did Flist Ridge last time. Now, coming down that hill, we have a little bit of Roman, but first, before I go into that, let's describe the wider context. There is Roman in this area, and it's called Malmesbury. Also Purton, there's a villa in Purton. But Malmesbury goes way back. It has a Proto-Welsh name. Incidentally, the English name Malmesbury, the Malm part is a Irish name. But it is within the broader, in the Saxon period, the broader lands of Brokene. And I'm convinced, and I believe Ekwall was convinced, that the Brokene, the broken fortification, was Malmesbury itself, not the village called Brokene, a mile or two to the side. There was also, as well as being a Celtic fortification, there was a Roman villa in Malmesbury as well. Southwest of Malmesbury, there was a Saxon royal palace of quite extraordinary design, and a very interesting estate setup. But the charter that describes that setup is incredibly difficult I've been trying for 2 years to finish it, and I don't think it is possible for me to finish it. But a few things have come up in the last couple of days, which has meant that I've gone back to the Brokene Charter, and I'm finding correlations at last. And I'm finding correlations at last to help describe what it is I'm seeing in the landscape. And what the catalyst for this was one of the perambulations of the medieval forest of Bradenebrok. And that in itself, the medieval forests were highly interesting. They do go back to, certainly places like Selwood, go back to the Saxon period, Sialawud. But it really comes into its own when the Normans invade, and it becomes quite, under direct royal control with its own laws. And that perambulation helped me unlock some parts of this area, and unlock some of the ancient landmarks of the Brokene Charter, the Crudwell Charter, the Estcourt Charter, and another one which I've completely forgotten. What is it? Murcott. and it's become an interesting project. I think quite a few more videos will come out of this. But our Roman site next to Stokenebrigg Wood, there used to be a mound here. It's marked on the 1800s maps. That has gone now. There is no mound there anymore. It was excavated by archaeologists in the 1980s. I wonder how much of it they put back, but it's flat as a pancake now. It seems, well, from what I can see. It was a tile manufactory, a factory for making tiles. And as it is in between two parishes, right on the pretty much the parish boundary, actually on the parish boundary, between three villages, we can't call that continuity. The Romans came, the Romans left, the Saxons came in and set up the villages somewhere else. You don't necessarily, you can plant factories away from your settlements because it is wood that you really, really need lots of to keep your furnaces going with this sort of thing. But you very often, but you can see, you can see with Minor-T that is just pretty close to the woods. We have to ask the question, why did the Anglo-Saxons, the early English when they came here, not carry on living where the Romans were doing their business? And that is a question for others, but I just wanted to point it out because it's very, very tempting to talk about an unbroken chain of culture and civilization from the Bronze Age all the way to the present day, a notion of Britishness, British polity. It's very tempting to say there were no breaks in that. There were. There are plenty of examples where we can show beautiful continuations of culture, all in the same place, all within a couple of 100 yards of each other. But we can't in this case, so it's a bit hit and miss. But I just thought I'd mention it. If you enjoyed this, please click here for part 1.